Coming up on Spartan Sports Report, men's basketball faced off against the #1 team in the country and was tested against a tough MAC opponent. The women's soccer team hosted its third straight opening round NCAA tournament game.
And we are going to break down some Michigan State hockey for you right here in the studio.
Welcome back for a brand new Spartan Sports Report. I'm Jack Steger.
And I'm Briggs Maloney. Jack, my good friend, we had some big games on campus this weekend, including rivalry matchups, playoff games, and marquee conference battles. But first, let's talk about men's basketball taking on the #1 team in the country.
Yeah, let's start on Tuesday as the Spartans gave the top-ranked Kansas Jayhawks trouble as they were looking for their first win in the Champions Classic since 2022. It was a back-and-forth game, but at the end, MSU's struggles from beyond the arc and Hunter Dickinson's 28-12 night propelled the Jayhawks to a 77-69 win. This would give the Spartans their first loss of the season. Frankie Fiddler, though, led the Spartans with 15 points in the loss, while Jackson Kohler collected a double-double with 12 points and 10 rebounds. Saturday, the Spartans looked to get back on track Bowling Green at the Breslin Center. Marcus Johnson did everything on Saturdays. He would dominate early. He would finish with 23 points, and he would see this only three-pointer falls. He finished 1 for 11 on the night. The Bowling Green lead would get as big as 12 in the first half, but Michigan State found a way to claw back. Towards the end of the first half, Trey Holloman, he works inside the lane, gets the goaltend to go his way, and we are all tied up at 43 apiece. And then in the second half, it's all straight Cohen Carr instant momentum. And how about this for Cohen Carr? He's hyped up. He's ready to go. A shorter runway, but he's still taking off, getting hype in the Breslin Center. How about the Is Zone? They're absolutely loving it. Michigan State working from behind in the second half. They would also live at the charity stripe, though. 28 of 32, 87% shooting from the free throw line. Throughout the game, Michigan State able to come away with a big victory. Frankie Fiddler, 10 for 10 from the stripe as well. The Spartans had 7 players in double figures, but with a big 18-0 run to end the game, the Spartans would win 86-72. Michigan State hosts the Samford Bulldogs tonight at the Breslin Center at 8 p.m.
Looking to keep their undefeated record, the women's basketball team continued their 4-game homestand against Eastern Kentucky University. The Spartans and Colonels exchanged blows throughout the first half, and MSU led by 2 at the end of the first quarter. Junior guard Theron Halleck gave EKU problems all night, tallying 14 points and a season-high 9 assists as MSU led by 4 at the break. The second half was all Michigan State, but it was Julianne Woodard that would be the star of the show. The freshman forward scored 16 points in 7 minutes on perfect 5-for-5 shooting in the final period. She joined Halleck, Julia Arald, and Grace Van Sluten in double figures for MSU. The Spartans would win 96-54 in another high-scoring affair in East Lansing. Then on Sunday, they took the short trip to Kalamazoo to face off against Western Michigan. Julia Arald and Grace Van Sluten both earned their first double-doubles of the season to lead the Spartans to a 79-42 victory over the Broncos. MSU is now 5-0 to open the season and will be back in East Lansing on Wednesday to take on another in-state opponent, Detroit Mercy.
Yeah, we had 4 games on Saturday, and the Michigan State women's soccer team was in action, as well as the 5th-seeded women's soccer team was ready for their 3rd straight NCAA tournament appearance as they took on the Western Michigan Broncos at DeMartin on Saturday. Western Michigan finished as the champions of the MAC conference, and they haven't lost a game since August, but Michigan State looking to push early. How about this? Emily Matthews putting Michigan State in front with this goal in the 15th minute. She has 7 goals on the year. She's hyped up. Michigan State looking to continue. And then just less than 2 minutes later, it's Justina Gaynor getting on the board. Michigan State takes a 2-0 lead so far, but then Western Michigan would answer when Jen Blishock scored, and and she leads the nation in points with 49. But then later we see a red card going against the Broncos, and Michigan State would look to continue. That shot goes wide, but then it's the dagger coming through for Bella Najera. Michigan State would come away victorious 3-1, and they will move on to the second round and face Texas. Jeff Hostler, he was pretty excited about the victory, but he looks forward to this big matchup against Texas. Here's what he has to say about the upcoming matchup.
We've got an incredibly difficult path moving forward. You know, Texas just won the SEC championship. That semifinal and final of that tournament play, they beat 2 elite teams. And we know we're going to have our hands full going forward.
Michigan State will face 4-seeded SEC champion Texas at 4 p.m. on Friday in Durham, North Carolina.
14 Michigan State cross-country runners competed at the NCAA Great Lakes Regional in Norton, Ohio. The women finished 4th in the 6K race with 111 points, while the men finished 4th in the 10K race, which was their best finish since ending 4th at the 2021 Great Lakes Regional. Riley Ho crossed the line in 29 minutes, 26.9 seconds, which was the best by a Spartan in a 10K NCAA regional race. For the 24th straight season, the women advanced to the NCAA championship, with Riley Ho also qualifying for the men's NCAA championship on November 23rd.
Michigan State football was back in action on Saturday, and they lost their 3rd straight consecutive game, falling to Illinois in Champaign 38-16. Aiden Childs, though, finished the game with 256 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, but it would not be enough against the Fighting Illini. The Spartans will return home for their last 2 games of the season, facing off against Purdue on Friday at Spartan Stadium, with kickoff set for 8 p.m.
The volleyball team hosted rival Michigan in the 3rd annual battle at the Breslin. The Wolverines took the first frame 25-20, but the Spartans rallied to win the next 3 straight sets. MSU found its footing in the second set with a 12-3 scoring run, giving them the 25-17 set win. The Spartans continued their momentum into the 3rd and 4th sets, taking both 25-18, giving them the 3-1 win. Junior opposite Akasha Anderson led the team with 15 kills, while sophomore middle blocker Zuzana Kulig and junior middle blocker Evie Duzma both had a match high of 5 blocks each. After the Spartans' big win against in-state rival U of M, MSU volleyball took to Iowa City in a match against the Hawkeyes. With a close score first set, MSU came out victorious, winning 27-25. After this, it would be all green and white as the Spartans dominated set 2, 25-13, and set 3, 25-14. In a post-game presser, Coach Leah Johnson stated, "We're invested in being better as a group these last 2 weeks, and you're seeing that pay off in the results." The Spartans are set to take on their new Big Ten competition, the Oregon Ducks, Thursday, November 21st, here in East Lansing.
In their second duel of the season this past Sunday, Wrestling went on the road to earn their second win, winning 22-19 over number 25 ranked tournament team Ohio. From the start, the Spartans managed a 15-0 lead and were able to keep this momentum all the way to the end to complete the victory against the Bobcats.
The number 4 Michigan State hockey team welcomed in the Notre Dame Fighting Irish this past weekend to continue its Big Ten homestand. We have Spartan Sports Report's own Olivia Kalinsky and Marin Klein in the studio to break this matchup down.
Thanks, guys. So much to go over from this weekend. A huge showing for the Michigan State Spartans. A sweep. There's back-to-back conference sweeps for this team following the one from Ohio State last weekend. They're now 4-0 in conference play. The first time in Michigan State hockey history. This number 4 team had an 8-3 game and a 4-3 game. They brought out the brooms for the Fighting Irish. So much to talk about here. And after that stellar showing, 12 combined goals, the Spartans moved up in the USCHO polls, now the number 2 team in the country. And what better place to start than the catalyst of it all, Tiernan Shouty.
Yeah, absolutely, Olivia. Tiernan Shouty on that line with Tanner Kelly and Red Savage. Right there, a battle on the boards. Shouty's the one who's going to get defenders, and then right there in the slot, Savage and Kelly both had looks at it, but Shouty's going to bury that in. And this is a somewhat new line as Kelly and Shouty have played together for Savage joining them this year, and the chemistry the three of them had has been apparent from the first time they stepped on the ice together as a line, and we'll see it again right here. A shorthanded opportunity. Savage is just going to glance at Shouty just to throw off the goaltender and bury it himself, and that's just a great job by Shouty to be there with his line mate to back him up if he needs it. Just such great communication from that line, and that was not the only shorthanded goal we saw this weekend, Olivia.
It was not. Obviously, you want your offensive positions to be scoring, but if your defense can be scoring too, it's that much more important. David Gucciardi with his own shorthanded goal with the help of Shane Van Sage. We also saw another goal from a blue liner from Matt Basgol. What is so impressive is he takes that extra second, really surveys what's happening, make sure there's that clear pathway to bury it in the back of the net. This scoring defense isn't just helping out with goals, though. They're helping out with assists. Basgol with 2 right here. This first one helping out with Carson Dorwart's second goal of the day. He had both of them in game 1 here. And we are also going to see him help out with Charlie Stramel's goal here. He's right in the face-off. Stramel gets that win. It goes back to Basgol, and Stramel is already there, and he's able to tip in that goal. That's something that head coach Adam Nightingale really emphasizes, being super fast off of those face-offs and getting those goals right here. And they also, those blue liners weren't the only ones to score. We had that fourth line as well.
Yeah, the fourth line since the start of Big Ten play has been electric. Seeing right there the wraparound assist from Van Sage to get it to Mikey D'Angelo, his first goal as a Spartan. And ever since the start of Big Ten play, these guys have just really stepped up their game. Here comes Van Sage, just such a great move, just beautiful stick work to get around his defender, rifling that one top shelf. He may have just turned 18 years old, but already such a skilled player. And you see that development in this fourth line game after game. They're improving more and more. The youngest line on the team, 2 freshmen to sophomores, said sophomore Tomi Manisto, the only returner on this line, hasn't found a goal yet like his line mates, but he is absolutely tormented Big Ten opponents, Ohio State and Notre Dame alike. He had so many great shots.
And then another goal we cannot go without mentioning. Danny Russell right here slams it in, his 23rd birthday goal, and it is also the 10,000th goal for this Michigan State hockey program. And another thing we cannot go without mentioning is Trey Augustine.
Yeah, so many things to say about Trey Augustine. 55 saves for him on the weekend. This young netminder, so much on his shoulders, and he stays calm, cool, and collected. And I think the most important thing that really stands out about Augustine is how he can really elevate his game in those third periods. He's only allowed 3 third-period goals in the 10 games the Spartans have had so far this year. One of those third-period goals did come in Game 2 against the Fighting Irish, but in Big Ten play, you're always going to see competitive opponents. They're pushing back against you, and Augustine is all ready to step up to that challenge, and that is so huge for the Spartan team.
That's right. So many standout performances that are really helping to propel this Michigan State hockey team. We didn't even get to mention Gavin O'Connell and Joey Larson's goals. Every single forward walked away with a point of some kind this weekend, and the same can be said for all but 2 defensemen as well. Such a stellar performance. The sky is the limit for this team. Very exciting things to come, and to talk about those exciting things, we will send it back to the desk with Jack and Briggs.
Thank you kindly to our compatriots in the studio, Olivia Kalinsky and Maren Klein. The team will travel to Plymouth, Michigan this Thursday at 7 for an exhibition matchup against the United States National Team Development Program.
That will do it here for us from Spartan Sports Report.
For more stories and content, visit our social media accounts and the Spartan Newsroom website. I'm Briggs Maloney.
And I'm Jack Stager. As always, we will see you next week.